because I know people in my class that were able to speak French. Some of them had their internship in like November, October, November. They had settled their internship. Like we are. Sorry. Okay.
Start again.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Rudy's channel. I'm just helping her because we've done 3 videos today now, and so welcome back to the channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Like the video, subscribe. If you are new to the channel, she's Nsongo Rudy, a master student in France. She makes content about living in France, vlogs of living in France, things you need to know before you apply to France and all that. So today, my name is Teolade. I'm also a master student in France as well. Today we are talking about preparing for interviews for your internship when you come to study in France for your end of study internship or whatever internship you are applying for.
Okay. So like she said, we have already made like some other videos. If you have not watched them, what are you waiting for? Go and watch it.
Watch them before you watch this one.
Exactly. So that you'll be able to follow the line of thought that we have been using that led us to this particular one. Because we have one that we made on generally how to apply for the internship, how to find it. So you need to watch this one before you even get to the interview stage. And trust me, it's not easy if you get to interview stage. That means you're really doing a lot. Okay, so first of all, we'll be talking about how to prepare for your interview. So we have already spoken about the type of interviews you can have, video and so on. So watch that one first to know about it. So this one is just how to prepare for the interview. I actually like to start for this one. So when you're preparing for an interview, I feel like once you have reached interview, it's like you are kind of some steps closer. So I think you should take it serious, especially if it's a role that you like, because there's some roles I did apply for. I don't really like them. I should just apply because it's very easy to apply. And they just called me for interview, and I was not like, that was not what I was into. So maybe you should try to apply for the ones you like. So when I was praying for the ones I liked, so this is like an evidence of I was preparing for some of the ones I liked. So I had to like research about the company. I watched videos like what is their report, what are they doing right now in this year, what's their value system, what's their propositions and so on. So you have to know the kind of interview you're preparing for actually, because we're going to talk about the types of interview you have, but you should know them first, and then that will help you to prepare for this interview very well, to know what to search when you're making your research and so on. So I think you should research, and if you're like me, I like to write out. Some people don't like to write out. I like to write out like the points, so that just to maybe when I'm just looking at it, and then it comes naturally when I'm speaking. And I'm not someone that likes to do stick notes on the background. Some people would like to like stick notes. Me, I've not done that. I'm not used to it. I like to just say it from my medulla oblongata. So I like to practice ahead. Hence my plenty notes ahead, especially when I like it. So that's one way to prepare.
Like you said, like you have to research the company obviously, and some companies they tell you which interview you're doing first. So if it's a HR interview, prepare for that. If it's a technical interview, or some of them they do both of them at the same time. So HR and technical are done at the same time, side by side. So you just need to prepare, research the company, research the role, know their skills that are on the job description. Google it if you know it or you don't know much about it. Like just have as much knowledge as possible about the role. I'm not saying you should have to know everything, but like you should know enough. And if you don't know the answer to some questions, you tell them, I can't think about the answer right now, or I'm not sure, or you just have to like know not as much as possible. That's the point. You can also check Glassdoor if you know the company and the company is popular. You can always check their interview questions on Glassdoor or whatever website.
Okay, so the next one is the type of interview questions. Like she mentioned already, so they could be like the HR interview or the technical interview. Sometimes they could do both. So depending on the kind of the HR interview, what is it really about?
HR interview is just for them to know the kind of person you are, whether you lied on your CV or not. But most of the time, the first thing they always do is they'll tell you about themselves, they'll tell you about the company, then they'll tell you about the job role. They'll not ask you, please, can you tell us about yourself? Like, although it is already in your CV, you yourself, you have to sell yourself. Basically, just an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Like anything that is on your CV, you can now bring more light to what you did that in related to the role that you are applying for. Then some of them ask about your weaknesses and your strengths. Some of them also ask why do you want this company? Why did you apply for this job role? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Those are like generic. I think those are like very generic questions that you see anywhere. You can get answers to online, like good answers online, or that tailor it to yourself and the role you're applying for.
Another question they could ask in this HR, what do you think? Okay, I think you've already mentioned something.
Yeah, I think that's like just some of them can decide to ask you some very tricky ones. I remember I did one HR interview and she asked me what is the difference between a risk and an issue. That's like a project management question. I don't know. But I don't know why but that's a question that could be asked. Some of them ask. Most of the common ones are, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Your strengths and your weaknesses. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I think one person asked me, what kind of manager would you like to work with? Like under what kind of managerial leadership or what thing or something.
Yeah, and some of them also. I did one yesterday, and she asked what do you want to learn from this position or that kind of question. So I think if you Google HR questions and you practice for at least 10 or 30 of them, maybe at least 5 of them will be asked in your interview.
And so even if they don't ask it the same way, but it could just be like the same answer they want, but just different ways. Yeah. And like they say, HR questions always normally to see, like in France, they say they want to see the cultural fit, if you're going to fit with the team and so on. And I think that's just it for the HR this thing. But I feel like once you pass the HR this thing, then that means you're one step closer, because they're the ones that now like push you or sell you to the manager. Okay, I think she's cool, blah blah blah, I like her, I like him, and so on. So it's also important to the HR interview. And the next interview is always the technical interview, and this one I feel like it's varies depending on the particular role that you're applying to, but basically it will just be to see your technical fit with that position. You know, sometimes in the job description they ask you, do you know this particular tool? Like I conversant with Python, Excel, and Power BI, or any kind of software that they feel will be needed. So you should just know that when they're asking technical questions, they will expect you, maybe they can ask something related to this. I think for me, the technical interview I did, it was basically, one, they gave me a case study actually for one interview I did, and it was for in operations, and it was like logistics and supply chain project management, and then gave me a case study to work on for the company, and I used Excel. So then I want to see what are the tools you use to like clean the data, analyze the data, and then ask me some questions. I don't really like it. So, but these are things you can go through when you're doing your technical interview. In the next stage, you now have to like work on it and so on. And I think that just to see the kind of level you have. And then when it came to the real question, they now asked me, okay, so why did you use this tool? I feel like it was too big, or why didn't you use this, and so on. Just want to know, maybe you did it yourself or you gave it to another person. And I think it also helps when you know the company you're applying to, what do they value more. Because for me, that company, I had already gone on LinkedIn to meet some person. I used to mention it, like, go on LinkedIn, guys. I went on LinkedIn, I met person that working in that company, maybe that did their internship. I asked them, okay, so I'm doing this interview, can you like give me some tip question? And they told me, okay, in this company they like to see that you can work in a team. The teamwork is actually very important. So all my questions I was answering, I kind of like showed myself to be a good team player. I can work in a team, I can flow with people, I can network with people. So I think you should do that, know what the company values, and can do that reaching out to people. And your technical questions, how are they?
Well, me, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer, so most of my questions were mostly based on like maybe my programming skills, my knowledge of the electrical power system, designing the solar system or whatnot. And I think the technical interviews, most of them here, they do a lot of case studies. I noticed that. So like I did one that I had a case study to do on. I think it was a lot of. I think I did it in 10 slides, presented it, sent it to them. They asked me questions on that, like, why did you do this? What do you think about this? How would you go about approaching a problem like this if you were faced in front of, if it was in front of you? Then another one, I also did a case study as well, where it was just one. They asked me to summarize a 14-page document in I was asked to summarize a 14-page document in one slide. So that was also that, and I presented that as well in a strict time limit, and I it at 5 minutes, and she asked me questions, and that was all. So I feel like technical interviews vary, but the one thing you should always know is just prepare, know as much technical things that you need to know about the role as possible, and also like prepare because most of them, they won't ask you to, okay, this is a problem, solve it. Like it's not like they'll give you a maths test or something. Even Python, they don't ask you to solve Python questions. They might just ask you about, okay, how did you go about solving this project. I was asked yesterday that what Python libraries do you know? What Python libraries have you used to go about data analysis and simulations and all that? So most of the time they just ask you some questions, like basic surface level questions. They don't even expect you to know like the ins and out of everything. They just want you to know. They just want to know if you have like a very basic knowledge of things, like, oh, I want to design a solar solution. What should I take into account, or how would you go about designing the solar solution from the customer level to the end stage of the project? So yeah, it varies on the company and what you are doing.
Yeah, on the road too. Because I
road.
think for people that are doing like software engineering, I think it's a whole different
kind of my whole completely different.
It's a whole different kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think for the art related courses, at least for my friends I know, I think the technical question is still going to be in terms of what particular thing have you done in the past, or for example, if you need to do like communications or marketing, okay, so have you done this role before? How do you manage people and so on? Like, what have you done before that relates to this? Or maybe if you have not really done exactly to this, try and there's still like transferable skills that you have done in your previous roles that can actually be used in this one. So I think you should just try to sell yourself that, okay, although I was not in this exact scenario, but this is a scenario I did, and these are the skills I learned that I feel I can actually apply to this particular role, and that still makes me a better fit for this role. I think that's just it for the interview. So
questions you ask after they ask you.
Yeah, exactly. So, and after the interview, they always ask you, do you have questions?
Yes.
I think it's very, very important that you should research. You must have questions. I think it's actually important you have questions.
I ask, like, depending on the role as well. Sometimes I ask like what is the managerial style for this position? Like, how would the managers treat me? Like, so am I expected to report somebody all the time, or am I going to be on my own and I work on my own and stuff like that? Then I also ask, like, depending on if it's the HR or anybody, I'm like, okay, do you have any advice for me? Like, if I get this position, like, what advice can you give me to make me succeed in the role? Sometimes you can ask them, okay, tell me about the team, or plan for the company. Like, what is the company's plan? What in the next quarter? My six months there, my internship period there. What should be my main focus or main goal aside from my role in the company? So like, what plan do they have for the company and all that? So I think that's basically it. Anything that will make the interviewer remember you or think about it, like, she asked nice questions and stuff like that.
I think Tiwa's questions are far more better. So, I think it's actually very good about the, like, okay, so what, how should I succeed in this role? What will make me to be a good blah 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 in this role? So I think those questions, because it shows that means you have interest in them and that you want to stay with them in the long term. So I think those questions are good, because I've also seen them like on Instagram, the kind of questions you should be asking at the end of a job that shows that could actually make you like relate to that person very well and so on. Because when the person is giving you tips and maybe they really like you and you're not working, they maybe like committed to like seeing that you feel those things
and they want to see you succeed.
It will also be a very good thing. And I think I've actually just one thing. One time I did an interview, they asked me if I'm also applying to other roles.
They always ask that question.
So how would you answer in that kind of scenario?
I always say yes, I am. Like, I'm applying, but most of the time when they ask me, I also say I'm applying to roles also in this field, but in a different company. Like, you're not the only company that is out there for me. I mean, there are other companies as well. So
do you think you're not the only company?
No. I don't say that literally. I just say that yes, I am also applying to roles in this. Like, for example, I'm applying to a microgrid business development manager. I'm like, oh yes, I'm also applying to roles that aside from business development in microgrid control, microgrid marketing and all that. So I just give them an idea of what I want, because at the end of the day, they might have other roles, and they might say, okay, maybe this role is not for you, and this other role is for you. So you just tell them like, yes, I am applying. Okay. I don't think you should ever say no to that question.
Yeah, me too. I also said, because for me it was end of the internship. So what I said was like, oh, that because in school, and to be honest, they'll actually ask you how many have you applied to now. Like we mentioned in a previous video that we have people that take care of this thing. So I said, oh yeah, that it's a must in school that we have to apply as many as we can. So I've actually applied to as many as you can. But you know, you're the love of my life. I love you. So that's
I have to make them feel important. That yes, although I'm applying to other people, I still want you. So
exactly. So yeah, you know, I actually gave, and it was actually true. You know, this thing, someone from a company came to the school and spoke about it, and that was when I first fell in love with him. And from there, I've always been wanting you.
Love at first sight.
So you know, you just make them know that okay, yeah, you still want them, and especially if you really want them, try and communicate that to the recruiter that that like the top list, and I mean from the YouTube videos I've been watching about it, that's what I've been saying, and I think it's good that you pass that message that you care about them and you really do want them. So yeah. But I don't think you should say no. You should actually try and be open. Yeah,
be very open.
Yeah, I think
honesty is the best policy.
Anyway, so I think that's it. But maybe we should just frustrations. The frustrations you have when you're doing internship.
I mean, I internship search or
like the whole internship procedure. Like
I mean, it's not easy. I mean, for us that we have to sign documents. Now I just finalize my internship. I have to sign documents for the company. I have to sign documents for the school. There's some information that I need to sign my school documents that I need to get from the company, and there's some information I need to sign the company document that I need to get from the school.
But even before you had the internship.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, like I had to. I started searching we started school in September. I started searching properly, like maybe in October after I settled the one semester, and October, November. I don't think I was getting interviews as much. I started getting interviews. I said like maybe 30 in October, November. It wasn't working out. I had to like come back and re-strategize and maybe touch up my CV a little bit, touch up my cover letters a little bit. Then December, I went to somewhere and I met some people, got LinkedIn connections, connected with them, started talking to them instead of just applying online. Like another thing is connections will help you a lot. The connections will really help you. So I started, like, I think in December I started having more and more interviews with companies and talking with more and more people, like also reaching out to people that were in my program really helped me as well. So I reached out to them, told them, okay, I'm looking for an internship, this and this and that. Like, okay, this is where you can apply to. This is like they put you in contact with people. And also our program director also helped us a lot. Like he created a group chat, so companies that reach out to him that they are looking for internships, he sent us directly the information, and not just the company information, a contact as well, because you know, if you have someone you can contact there, it's easier than just submitting a blind application and you don't know if your CV will ever get to the recruiter's desk or the manager's table or something like that. So yeah, I think it was hard. I mean, especially not being able to speak French. I mean, it wasn't easy because I know people in my class that were able to speak French. Some of them had their internship in like October, November. They had settled their internship. They're like, yeah, I have internship, moving on with my life. And I was looking like, okay, I won't come. So
God, I beg you.
Exactly. But like it's I think at the end of the day everybody will still find an internship. It's just a matter of when and how you go about looking for your internships.
Okay guys, we have actually come to the end of this video. It was like a very long series because we have like 3 videos from just this session. So thanks for watching, and if you just watched this one, try and watch the other ones because they contain very important information from our experiences, from internships, interviews and so on, and I feel they're going to help you to just make your chances better when you're coming in France, and just gain new information on how to survive here in France as an international student, especially not when you don't speak French, because for us our French is like So it really like help you. So do well to watch them. And lastly, if you enjoyed this content, if it helped you, maybe you learned something, make sure you like this video, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, guys. This is your way of supporting me. You don't want to support me? So this is your way of supporting me. And click on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my video, okay? But most importantly, subscribe. Subscribe now. See you next time. Yeah. All right, see you in my next video. Bye.